Real Country 1430 AM and 107.3 FM WRDN. Brian Winnikins at World Dairy Expo, and thank you to our expo sponsors, including Elsivia Co-op, Annabis Silo, the Animal Wellness Center of Buffalo Valley, Compeer Financial, AMPI, and Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. And we're at the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin booth here at World Dairy Expo. I'm with Chad Vincent. He's the Chief Executive Officer with Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. We're going to talk a little bit about exports and how they're valuable for Wisconsin dairy, along with getting an update as well on some of the things going on with Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. And Chad, thanks for joining us. Well, first with DFW, I recently did an interview about the Fuel Up to Play 60 program. And, Packers are playing overseas this weekend, so it's kind of cool, but it's something that's been a very great partnership for Wisconsin dairy farmers and the NFL, and specifically the Packers.
Yeah, but most importantly, it gets milk and dairy and agriculture conversations happening in schools. And that's really what the whole thing's about. It's about making sure that whatever we do, the next generation is going to understand the power of milk and the power of dairy and how important it really is. And
there's been a lot of studies over the years, and I see it with the athletes, with the schools. They're drinking chocolate milk after practice, or they're because that's really what you need to fuel up, especially after working out or practicing or things like that.
Yeah, the ultimate recovery drink, chocolate milk, is amazing. And, we sponsor the WIA programming throughout the year, and the basketball and the hockey and all those championships on TV. And it's all because, it's all about getting chocolate milk in front of those young athletes, and they'll take it with them for the rest of their life.
We are talking with Chad Vincent today. He's Chief Executive Officer with Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin from World Dairy Expo. So, Chad, let's talk about exports. Wisconsin, and some would say, well, cheese sold in Illinois is an export. So I count that, even though it hasn't left the country, quote unquote, it's still an export, and it's still very important.
Yeah, well, we live by the 90-90 rule, right? It's 90% of Wisconsin's milk gets turned into cheese, and 90% of that cheese is sold outside the state of Wisconsin. So yes, the vast majority of our dairy goes elsewhere. But Wisconsin is actually the 5th largest exporting dairy state in the country. And we are number 1 in specialty cheese, right? So we ship more specialty cheese outside of our borders than anybody else in the country. It's amazing. The success of exports and the importance of exports continues to roll. We're, one day in 7, moving to 1 day in 6 of every Wisconsin dairy farmer's milk ships outside the country.
Wow. That means that has to be a lot of value. I mean, I can't do that kind of math in my head, but that's got to be a tremendous amount of money.
It's big numbers, and and the cool thing is that over the last 10 years, the value of our exports is up almost 80%.
I would think that's almost the value of some countries' exports, and we're talking when we're only talking about cheese here for Wisconsin.
Right, and so it's massive, and it's really important, and it's one of those things. The good thing is that the Wisconsin the Wisconsin government, the Senate, then the governor put together a Wisconsin Ag Export Programs, of which I'm the vice chair of now. It's a 15-person group, and it's funded to the tune of about $1 million a year, focused solely on agriculture products exports. And of that, half of that has to be spent on dairy. We've got some really cool programs happening and some really great focus within the state to make sure that people understand the power of exports and how important it is, and actually have funding to get programs to get more product out the door. So
for dairy, what are some of those programs you're working on?
Well, a lot of it is getting out and meeting buyers around the world. So we've had groups go out to Europe and Latin America and Asia, and we work with the U.S. Dairy Export Council, which Chekhov funds a lot of, and they have people based all around the planet, and they help us find the buyers, and then we go and meet with the buyers, and Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin actually brings a bunch of those buyers into the state. And the most important thing we do with them is we get them on a farm, and they're like, oh my gosh, the way you guys manage the animals and treat the animals and the care of the land and the air and the water. When they see that, the sustainability and environmental factors around dairy are so critical these days, and they realize that we are at the top of our game here.
Talking with Chad Vincent. He is Chief Executive Officer with the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. Chad, you mentioned bringing those buyers in so they see what we do, what Wisconsin dairy farmers do, and they're impressed. has that then led to we want to buy some cheese?
Wisconsin cheese is sold in over 140 countries now, right? And that's no small feat. When we bring these buyers in, we'll have them here for a whole week, and we'll take them out to farms. We take them into the Center for Dairy Research so they can see the science and the infrastructure that we have, and then we get them in front of dairy buyers in the state, butter, cheese, ice cream, all this, everything, and we started bringing them in 3 years ago, and it's millions of dollars of sales that have come out. And why is it important to farmers? Because our business, our organization in the Chuck-Up is all about promotion and finding a home for the milk. So you want to continue to grow, we need to find ways to continue to grow the demand for our products and the processors in the state. So we're all in this thing together.
It's pretty amazing. Wisconsin cheese all over the world, and I know that there's, Chad, before we let you go, I know in talking with Secretary Vilsack when he was with Dairy Export Council, he mentioned the Middle East is just a golden opportunity, and it seems to be growing. And has that continued?
Absolutely. I mean, we're over there constantly. One of the first groups that came over here was from the Arab Emirates, and it's a grocery chain called Lulu. And they didn't have any Wisconsin cheese in there, and now you walk in there, and we have people I have people send me pictures all the time. They walk through this grocery store, and there's like 20 feet of Wisconsin cheese. It's amazing, it's wonderful, and it's driving business.
I've done that before, maybe not over at United Arab Emirates, but when I've been even in Las Vegas. Yeah. One of the hotel casinos, the Downtown Grand, at their bar, you can get Ellsworth cheese curds right there, and they make sure to put on from Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's amazing that I challenge people to try and find a grocery store in the country that doesn't have Wisconsin cheese. We're in lightly 99% of the stores, and we have the Wisconsin cheese badge, which is over my shoulder here, and we have that on the products prominently. The processors put that badge on their label because they know it says quality, and they know that we're driving people to look for it.
It's pretty amazing stuff. Wisconsin cheese, it's everywhere. Who knows? You know what? Maybe it'll be going up on SpaceX here sometime soon on a flight to Mars. That would be kind of cool, too. We're at World Dairy Expo. I'm Brian Winnikins on WRDN.